Three wealthy businessmen complained to Detective Brooke. This week, an unknown criminal stole a car from each of them, and he left no traces. But Brooke figured out his pattern. She thinks the thief will soon commit new crimes. Mike, Colin, and Bill are at risk because they own very expensive cars. Whose car will the thief steal tonight? If you already know the answer, make sure to share it in the comments. Let's take a closer look at the order of the thefts. The colors of the cars match the colors of the rainbow: red, orange, and yellow. So Colin's green car will be the next target. Detective Brooke finds the criminal's garage and begins rummaging around. He has a secret door protected by a combination lock. There's a note with 4 images next to the door. Brooke thinks for a while, presses 4 numbers, and opens the door. What numbers did she press? If you nailed it right away, please let us know. The code is 2731. Each digit corresponds to the number of colors of the object in the picture. Brooke enters the secret room and sees 6 rings on the table. Try to memorize all the details, because you're going to need them later. Okay, now, can you find the rings that were not present in the original picture? Make sure to share your answer. Rings A, C, and F don't belong here. After a long day of work, Brooke is starving. She wants to grab something sweet, so she goes to the candy shop. Brooke has 3 options to choose from: cotton candy, a candy cane, or a candy apple. Which food is dangerous? Let us know in the comments. Take a closer look at the cotton candy. There's a tiny spider stuck inside. Yikes! As for the apple, it has a little worm inside. So Brooke should definitely buy the candy cane. Brooke is passing by the food court and spots 2 families. One of them is super rich, while the other one very broke. Can you guess who is who? Think carefully and feel free to leave your answer in the comment section below. Take a look at the second family. They don't eat this rotten food. The son is just taking pictures. Meanwhile, the first family shares 1 pizza and drinks water, which is usually free. And the mother's phone looks very outdated. Therefore, the super rich family is on the right. Brooke walks up to the diner and sees 6 different burgers in the window. Try to memorize them. You're going to need the details later. Now, let's take a look at the 9 images. Which of these burgers didn't appear in the initial picture? Give this video a thumbs up if you already know the answer. Burgers B, D, and E are all new. The next day, Detective Brooke receives a new mysterious case. Someone attacked Larry, the HR manager of a large international company. It happened about an hour ago. Brooke finds 3 suspects. The first one is Lily. She's an applicant who was a bit angry with Larry because he made her wait for ages. Lily stayed outside in the rain and probably caught a cold, but she says she didn't attack him. Kyle, the company's marketing director, attended meetings from early morning until lunchtime, so he claims he didn't see Larry at all. Jeff from the IT department tells Brooke that he rode his bike to a coffee shop to get his cappuccino. He returned just now. Who's the attacker? Hurry up to be the first to comment. Jeff. Both his bike and his clothes are dry and clean. How is that possible if it's raining? Jeff runs away. Detective Brooke starts chasing him. She ends up in a dusty basement. There are 3 tunnels leading outside. The first one is guarded by an invisible monster. This creature attacks anyone who dares to enter. The second tunnel is half flooded with poisoned water. Drinking it is fatal for any human. And the third tunnel is infested with mutant cockroaches. They can fly and bite people. Which way is more or less safe? Give this video a thumbs up if you already know the answer. She should choose the second tunnel. The water's only dangerous if you drink it, so Brooke can just walk through the tunnel with her mouth closed and be safe. The next morning, Detective Brooke enjoys a day off at the beach. Suddenly, she hears a quarrel taking place nearby. This lady claims that someone has stolen her phone. Brooke spots the thief right away. Can you spot them? This blonde lady stole her phone. She's taking selfies with her own phone, but there's another one hidden in her swimsuit. Busted! Hit the like button if you managed to crack this riddle. Brooke spots 6 parrots on a tree and takes a picture. She visits the bathroom and then returns to the same tree. Can you find the parrots that were not present in her picture? Parrots A, E, and F arrived just now. Was it difficult? Let us know in the comments. Detective Brooke receives an emergency call from work. There's a dangerous visitor from another planet hanging out at the beach. It can look like a human, so Brooke should be very careful. Can you help her spot anything suspicious? Don't forget to share your thoughts. This volleyball player has too many arms for a regular human. Detective Brooke is working on her laptop in a coffee shop. Oops, it's time to visit the bathroom. Brooke decides it's safe enough to leave her stuff unattended. But after going to the bathroom, she finds out that her backpack and her laptop are missing. Brooke runs outside and sees 3 elderly ladies with picnic baskets sitting in the park. She interrogates them, but the ladies swear they didn't notice anything suspicious. Miss Anderson has just joined her friends. Miss Smith is eating her sandwich and reading a newspaper, and Miss Gold is taking pictures of squirrels. But still, Detective Brooke arrests one of the ladies. Can you guess who? Hurry up to be the first to comment. Brooke's backpack was red, remember? There's a red strap hanging out of Miss Anderson's picnic basket. Ooh, busted. Detective Brooke comes across a poster with 6 animals: a cat, a camel, a cheetah, a chicken, a crocodile, and a pig. Which animal doesn't belong here? The pig. It's the only animal whose name doesn't start with the letter C. But if you have a different answer, let us know. Brooke receives a call from her best friend, Amanda. She suspects that her boyfriend, Will, has a secret from her. Amanda wants to access his laptop to investigate, but she doesn't know his password. Luckily, there's a hint note right on his desk. It says Apple, Man, and Dawn. Give this video a thumbs up if you cracked this code. And the password is Amanda. Yep, her name is the code. Aww. Will was just preparing a surprise for Amanda's birthday. He took her on a romantic helicopter trip. But unfortunately, their vehicle broke down in the air, and they had to land on a tiny uninhabited island. The guys can't call for help. Their cell phones and radio don't work. There are no trees on the island, only sand and rocks around them, so they can't make a smoke signal. Suddenly, Amanda notices a plane circling the sky, but unfortunately, it's flying too high and the pilot can't see them. Will comes up with a bright idea, and soon after, the plane picks them up. What did they do? Think carefully and share your ideas. They use rocks to spell out SOS on the sand. The plane takes Amanda and Will to the mainland, and now they need to take a bus to get home. Only one of these 4 buses will take them to their final destination. Can you guess which one? It's the second bus. Hit the like button if you nailed it. And if you want to train your thinking on a daily basis, don't forget to subscribe. One popular TV show, Best Cook, invited 3 chefs to play a game to see who's the best cook. Only professional chefs could participate, and the winner got a $1,000 cash prize. Suddenly, the producer spotted something weird. There was an imposter. One of the men was lying about being a professional chef. Who is the liar? Look at the third man. It appears that he doesn't know how to sharpen a knife. He's not a real cook, and this bloody stain on his uniform looks suspicious. Now, look at these 3 beggars. It seems like there's a liar among them. Can you guess who it is? The first one doesn't have shoes. He's indeed poor. The third one doesn't have a tooth. He must be poor too. The second man is rich. He's sitting on a comfy cushion, he's got shoes, and he doesn't pay attention to the coins he's given. Can you spot a fake grandma? Look at these old ladies. One of them isn't really a granny. The first one has a weird green potion in her cauldron. She must be a witch, just like the third one. But you can be a witch and a granny. What about the second one? She belongs to Gen Z, according to her gesture. She can't be a real granny. You're walking down the aisle in the supermarket and see 2 pregnant women. Still, only one of them is really expecting. Can you tell who it is? The couple on the left is no doubt expecting a baby. Plus, they both have rings on their fingers. Meanwhile, the red-headed woman on the right looks suspicious, and she also doesn't have a ring or a partner accompanying her. The local oceanarium announced a one-of-a-kind exhibition featuring real mermaids. Claire decided to visit it, but once she left the exhibition room, she headed to the ticket office to ask for a refund. Why? Well, the thing is, one of the mermaids wasn't real. Look at the same birthmarks these 2 ladies have. They must be sisters. So the girl in a yellow shirt must be faking it. Ah, and she doesn't have gills either. It's a working day, but your boss lets you work remotely. You're having a Zoom call. You realize that one of your colleagues isn't at home. Who is it? It's that lady in the top left corner. She's not in the same time zone for sure. You're at a fork in the road. One path leads to the city of lies, where everyone lies, and the other to the city of truth, where everyone always tells the truth. There's a person at the fork who lives in one of the cities, but you're not sure which one.
Uh-oh.
What question should you ask them to find out which road leads to the city of truth? You need to ask this person, "Can you show me where you live?" If it's the inhabitant of the city of truth, they will show you the direction to their city. If this person lives in the city of lies, they will have to lie and point to the city of truth, too. A girl meets a lion and unicorn in the forest. The lion lies every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. On the other days of the week, he tells the truth. The unicorn lies on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. On the other days of the week, everything he says is the truth. "Yesterday I was lying," the lion tells the girl. "So was I," the unicorn claims. "So, which day is it?" It's Thursday. A man got caught on the king's property. He is brought before the king to be punished. The king says that the man must give a statement. If it's true, the man will have to face angry lions. If it's false, he'll have to deal with a wild buffalo. If the king can't figure it out, he'll have to let the guy go. Eventually, the man is released. What was his statement? The man said, "Today I will be trampled by wild buffaloes." If the statement was true, the guy would have to be eaten by lions, which would make the statement false. But if it was false, the man would have to face wild buffaloes, which would make the statement true. So this statement created a logic loop, and the king had to let the guy go. 4 people are having dinner on a restaurant terrace, talking about business. Jennifer is wearing 2 large golden bracelets and golden rings on each of her fingers. Martin has a brand new phone and a smartwatch. Connor has a tattoo on his hand and a dazzling golden watch on his wrist. Steve has no watch, rings, or bracelets, but he's wearing a smart suit. Only one of these people is a real millionaire. Can you guess who it is? It's Steve. He's got car keys in his pocket, and there's a brand new sports car parked nearby. Jennifer has old ripped shoes, so her jewels must be a knockoff. Martin's phone is fake too, and Connor has old ripped shoes, just like Jennifer. A wise king realized that he was tired of all the hard work he had to do, so he decided to find someone who could replace him. He decided to organize a challenge. The one who would nail it would become the next king. Anyone who wanted to take the throne needed to put a whole cucumber into a glass bottle without cutting the cucumber or damaging the bottle. The participants had a week to do it. This challenge seemed to be impossible, so only 5 people decided to take part, and there was only one winner. How did he put the cucumber in the bottle? He placed a baby cucumber still on its stem into the bottle. Cucumbers grow rather fast, so he had enough time to win that competition. Allison majored in math at the university. Her roommates wanted to test her intelligence. They took 3 envelopes and wrote short messages on them. Then they put the answers to Allison's exam questions in one of the envelopes. Only one envelope had a truthful message written on it. The other 2 were false. Allison wasn't allowed to open the envelopes and could only pick one. The first message read, "There are no exam answers here." The second was, "The exam answers are here." And the third message read, "The exam answers aren't in the second envelope." Which envelope should Allison pick? The third envelope tells the truth, which means the exam answers are in the first envelope. Russell and Maria were on vacation. One day, Maria told Russell she couldn't go to the beach with him because she was feeling unwell. When Russell came back to the room to grab his phone, Maria was gone. He found her by the pool and asked, "Are you alone here?" She nodded, but Russell immediately realized she was lying. How? There were 2 soda pops and 2 fruit platters on her table. Mark, Jim, and Bob worked as managers in the same office. One day, one of them is fired, and one gets a promotion. The remaining manager wants to resign at first, but then changes his mind. You know that the one who is fired is older than the rest and single. Jim is younger than the manager who decided to stay at work, and he doesn't know Bob's wife. Who's fired? It's not Jim because he's younger than the manager who stays. It's also not Bob because he's married. It means that Mark has been fired, Jim has gotten a promotion, and Bob has decided to stay in his position. One day, Stephanie got lost in the woods. At one point, she stumbled upon an old witch's house. The door cracked open and she came in. The witch turned out to be really kind. She promised Stephanie she would make her dreams come true if she cracked a riddle. Stephanie was dreaming of a new phone, so she agreed. The witch asked, "If 11 plus 3 equals 2, what does 8 plus 6 equal?" It took Stephanie about a minute to come up with an answer, but she nailed it. What was the answer? "11 plus 3 equals 2 o'clock. 8 o'clock plus 6 equals 2 o'clock too."
Two successful movie producers, Noah and Rachel, are having breakfast on a restaurant terrace. They discuss the budget for a sequel to a very popular movie that earned $100 million at the box office. They speak very quietly because they suspect that someone might overhear them. Some curious people indeed eavesdrop on their conversation. Can you find them? There's a guy at the table holding a magazine upside down. Obviously, he is not interested in reading it. He must be listening to Noah and Rachel. That lady has a camera lens sticking out of her backpack, so she's probably a reporter. Fans will be able to read the producer's lips if she posts this video. And this handsome guy is busy eating his salad, but there's a microphone hidden in his long hair. 4 people enter the same restaurant and take a seat on the terrace. Jill is wearing 2 large gold bracelets and gold rings on each of her fingers. Mark is fiddling with a brand new phone and checking the time on his smartwatch. Kevin has a fancy tattoo on his hand and a dazzling gold watch on his wrist. Luke doesn't have any watches, rings, or bracelets, but he's wearing a smart suit. Only one of them is a millionaire. Can you guess who? It's Luke. He's got car keys in his pocket, and there's a brand new sports car parked nearby. Jill has old ripped shoes. All that gold can be fake. Mark's phone is a knockoff, and Kevin has old ripped shoes, just like Jill. After the meeting, Noah returns to his place. He needs these 3 items. Can you help him find them? Here they are. Noah wants to read the secret sequel script on his laptop. This file is protected by a password, which Noah doesn't remember. But here's a hint. He should enter all the bold numbers one by one. But first, he needs to decide what numbers to put instead of the question marks. He just needs to put a multiplication sign between the numbers on the left. So the answers are 0 and 18. And here's the correct password. Later that night, Noah throws a party at his house, where he usually lives alone. Everyone from his work is invited. In the middle of the party, Rachel finds Noah poisoned in his bedroom. A detective arrives to investigate and questions 3 main suspects: Amy, Kelly, and Connor. All of them deny entering Noah's bedroom. Who's lying? It must be Amy. Take a look at the bed. There's an earring. Amy is only wearing one earring that looks the same. Busted! Rachel lives with her husband, Chuck, and 3 daughters. Her dream is to go to the Academy Awards ceremony with Chuck. But unfortunately, her husband is an introvert. So he says, "All right, I'll go with you if you manage to bring me some water." Chuck only gives her a colander to fulfill this task. Can you help Rachel find a solution? She needs to freeze some water and put it in the colander. Technically, it's still water, right? It's time to choose an outfit for the ceremony. Rachel has 3 dresses: a yellow one, a red one, and a black one. Which dress should she wear? Rachel should wear the red dress. That button on the yellow dress is about to come off, and someone spilled some paint on the black dress. Rachel sneaks into her daughter's room to investigate who stained the black dress. This is the bed of the oldest daughter, Shelley. This bed belongs to Lily, the middle daughter. And this is the bed of Ella, the youngest one. Can you help Rachel figure out who ruined her dress? Ella. There's a half-empty bottle of nail polish on her dresser. The color matches the stains perfectly. Busted! Rachel gets ready and calls her 2 best friends to show them her outfit. Their names are Violet and Amber. They're putting on their makeup and getting ready for a night out too. Violet and Amber have really similar tastes. Their phones look the same, and so do their lipsticks and clothes. But, in fact, one of them has the more expensive stuff. Can you guess who? Take a look at Amber. Her dress logo gives her away since it's obviously a knockoff. One famous magician is performing at the ceremony's after party. He's going to show his most spectacular trick. The magician puts 8 different cards on the table and covers them with a black cloth. He asks Rachel to come closer.
Now you'll see 2 rows of 4 cards. I want you to select only one of them.
He lifts the cloth for 1 second and then covers the cards again. Rachel chooses one card. The magician looks at her and whispers, "Now close your eyes. Think about the card. Think of nothing else. I'm going to read your mind now." She closes her eyes. After a few seconds, the magician says,
Take a look at the table. I've removed your card and replaced it with a new one.
Rachel opens her eyes, and it's magic! He indeed removed the card she thought about. But how did he do it? There's no magic here. The magician replaced all the cards on the table with new ones. But Rachel didn't notice this since she was only focused on one card. Oliver is a famous movie director. He throws an after party in his hotel room after the ceremony. and invites 3 actresses: Anna, Mona, and Donna. The next morning, a cleaning lady finds Oliver alone and unconscious in his room. None of the hotel staff or the actresses know what happened to him. The police arrive and they find a note next to Oliver's calendar. It reads 3/10/11/8. The detective already knows who attacked Oliver. What about you? It was Mona. The note was next to a calendar. Take the first letters of each month and you get the name Mona. The next day, Rachel goes to the local farmer's market. Can you spot anything odd here? This lady is selling bakery goods, but the sign says fresh phones. Rachel approaches an apple seller. The green apple costs $1. A red one costs $2, and a blue apple costs $3. What apples and how many of them did Rachel buy if we know that she spent a total of $3 using only 2 bills? Rachel bought a green and a red apple. She paid for the green apple with a $1 bill, and she used the $2 bill to pay for the red apple. Of course, she could have grabbed a blue apple and given the same $3, but blue apples don't exist. Rachel is watching 3 people standing in front of an ice cream cart. The first guy is taking his ice cream from the seller. The guy behind him is nervous. His hands are in his pockets. The third guy is looking at something through his binoculars. One of them is a police officer. Can you guess who? It's the first guy. He has a police radio in his pocket. Rachel enters a local high-tech fair. Cyborgs are working here along with humans, but one of these robots is defective. Can you spot which one? The cyborg on the right has 2 thumbs on 1 palm. What do you say about these 2 cyborgs? The lady on the right is the defective one. Her hands need to be fixed. What about these robots? Which one is defective? It's the guy on the left. His eye needs to be fixed. It's a beautiful morning. Megan wants to have a quick breakfast before work, but she only has 3 identical apples. Only one of them is safe to eat, while the other 2 are poisoned. Can you help her choose the best option? The second apple has a caterpillar in it, which means that there's no poison in the fruit, so it's safe to eat. Megan is riding her motorbike to work as usual. She drives around the same corner at a certain speed every day, regardless of whether it's rainy or sunny. However, if it's cloudy but not rainy, Megan usually goes faster. Why? There's a car wash on that corner. On rainy days, wet roads reduce traction. On sunny days, water from the car wash makes the road wet and causes the same effect. But if the weather forecast says there's a chance of rain, the car wash gets few clients and thus the road stays dry. That's why Megan passes the area faster. Megan is sitting in her office. Suddenly, a delivery guy enters the room holding a cardboard box. He sits down near Megan. Although she can't see, hear, or smell the contents of this box, she knows for sure what's there. How? Megan is allergic to cats. She began to experience the symptoms of her allergy. Megan is looking out of the office window. She sees a pile of pebbles, a carrot, and a pipe laying together in the middle of a garden. Any idea what happened here? Megan saw the remains of a melted snowman. Megan's boyfriend Stan sends her a selfie. She immediately realizes that he cheated. How did she know? Take a look at the background. There's someone's lipstick on the dresser. The lipstick probably doesn't belong to Megan. That's why she suspects that another woman has been visiting Stan's apartment. Megan goes to the office kitchen and finds two identical lunchboxes in the fridge. Can you find 3 differences between them? Here they are. Megan's coworker Sarah claims that one of the lunchboxes belongs to her. Can you guess which one? The lid of the first lunchbox has a nail polish scratch on it. The color of the nail polish matches Megan's purple nails perfectly. Therefore, the second box must belong to Sarah. Megan's task is to find a rental beach house for her boss. She finds 3 available options. Can you help Megan choose the best one? According to the info box, the first house will be completed in 100 years, so it's probably a scam. The second house should have 4 floors, but it only has 2 according to the picture. Therefore, Megan should pick the third option. After work, Megan goes to a hairdresser. A group of clients is waiting in the lobby, but it's not that simple. One of them is not from this planet. Can you guess who? It's the First Lady. An Earthling would hardly drink shampoo. Megan asks her hairdresser to dye her hair red. They apply the hair dye, wait a precise amount of time, and then wash it off. Oh no! Megan's hair is green! She interrogates 3 suspects. The hairdresser says, "Honey, I have no idea what happened. I did everything according to instructions." The cleaning lady says, "I didn't approach your hair dye. I'm allergic to all sorts of hair products." And the manager says, "I'm so sorry, miss. Someone must have confused the packages with hair dye." Who's lying? The cleaning lady. She would hardly be able to work in a beauty salon if she really had allergies to all sorts of hair products. Megan is meeting her friend at a new nightclub. She enters the building and gets lost in the basement. Megan faces 3 doors leading outside this trap. Behind the first door, there's a bunch of gross snakes. Although they all look the same, some of them are venomous and some of them are not. Behind the second door, there's an ancient magic box. Anyone who dares open this box will be cursed. And there's a tunnel full of hungry guard dogs behind the third door. Which way is more or less safe? Megan should choose the second option. She can simply walk past the box without opening it and avoid the curse. Luckily, Megan manages to escape and finds the nightclub. The guard at the entrance demands a password. Megan forgot it. She only remembers that it's a 6-number combination. Can you help her crack the code? Take a look at the numbers written on the wall. Megan needs some lateral thinking here. The hint shows 3 4s, 7 1s, and 2 7s. So the code is 3 4 7 1 2 7. Finally, Megan enters the party. She spots a famous influencer among the guests, Rob. Megan approaches and asks for a selfie. He agrees, but in the middle of the photo shoot, Rob suddenly faints. The police figure out that he's been poisoned. They question 3 witnesses. Rob's wife, Ashley, says,
"We're both on a juice diet. Rob and I only drank 1 juice all day long. I feel okay. I have no idea what happened to him."
Rob's manager, Stella, says,
"I only talk to Rob once a day. He borrowed my earbuds because he forgot his own at home."
And Daniel, Rob's brother, says, "Rob couldn't stand the juice diet, so I secretly treated him to some sugar-free organic cookies. I hope it's not my fault." Who poisoned Rob? Stella. There's a bottle of ear poison inside her pocket. She put it on the earbuds. Finally, Megan arrives home. Oh no! Someone stole her favorite antique vase. She calls the police and they question 3 neighbors. Mia says,
"I was out of town. I just returned an hour ago and I was so tired after a long drive that I immediately went to bed."
Tyler says, "I was getting ready to paint my house, but it didn't seem the rain would stop soon. So I went to the movies instead." Anna says,
"My sister got sick. That's why I was busy looking after my little nephew."
Who's lying? It was Mia. It's been raining for the whole day. If she'd returned home just an hour ago, the road under her car would be wet. Megan joins the local running marathon. All the participants run the same distance. Each gets ranked according to their own unique result. Megan turns out to be both the 50th fastest and the 50th slowest runner. How many runners are there in the marathon? Even though 100 sounds like a clear-cut answer, it's actually 99. Megan is the 50th in the sequence from 1 to 50 of the fastest runners. If she's the 50th slowest, there has to be 99 runners ranked from 50 to 99. Megan is visiting the world's tallest skyscraper. It took 7 years to build it. Every year, the builders managed to double its height. How many years did it take the skyscraper to reach half its maximum height? Six years. If the constructors doubled the building's height every year, the skyscraper had to be half its final height a year before it was completed. Kitty and Jacob are best friends. They meet downtown late at night to hang out. Suddenly, they spot something weird on this street. Can you also see it? A creepy zombie is hiding in this trash can. The zombie spots the guys and starts chasing them. Kitty and Jacob run towards the nearest shopping mall. It's closed and empty. Luckily, the door has a combination lock and the guys find a note with a hint. They try to enter this code, but it's too long. They need a 6-digit combination. Can you help them crack this code? They should literally enter 1 9 2 3 5 4. Voila! Kitty and Jacob manage to open the door and hide inside the mall. They land in the food court and notice 2 boxes with identical salmon rolls. The guys are very hungry, so each grabs a box and eats some rolls. Suddenly, Kitty gets sick and faints, but Jacob feels fine. Why? The poison was in the wasabi. Kitty ate almost the entire wasabi portion, while Jacob didn't even open his package. Jacob hides Kitty in the storage room. He runs to the medical office hoping to find some help. Oh no! Zombies have already sneaked into the food court. Jacob can use one of these 3 items for protection: a bucket, a knife, or a tray. Can you help him choose the best option? This bucket can protect his head from attacks, but Jacob won't be able to see anything. This plastic knife is useless. It's too small and fragile. Jacob should grab the tray and use it as a shield. Jacob breaks through the zombies, and now he needs to go downstairs. There are 3 possible ways. Option 1, the main staircase surrounded by the zombies. Option 2, an old empty elevator. And 3, an escalator. Can you help him choose the best way out? Jacob can't fight so many zombies alone, so the first option is excluded. As for the second variant, we don't know if this elevator works. Jacob should choose the third option. First of all, this way is free of zombies. Even if the escalator is out of power, Jacob will still manage to go downstairs. Jacob reaches the floor he needs, but unfortunately, this area is occupied by a mad robot. Jacob needs to hide as soon as possible because the robot is approaching. There are 3 stores nearby. Can you help him find the best shelter? This furniture store is too big and complex. It can hide a bunch of dangers. The second option is too transparent. There's nowhere to hide in this makeup store. That's why Jacob should choose the clothing store. He can pretend to be a mannequin and outsmart the robot. Luckily, the robot didn't notice Jacob and passed by. But here comes another danger. Jacob hears creepy sounds from the dressing room. He should leave the store as soon as possible. Can you help him choose the best direction? Jacob can't go upstairs. The zombies are waiting for him. Neither can he run down the hall because of the mad robot. But the candy shop is just around the corner. Jacob should hide there and grab some snacks. He's gonna need some extra energy. Bingo! It's a 2-story candy shop. Jacob runs downstairs and reaches the ground floor. He sees 3 doors. The first one leads to the parking lot, but it's locked. The second one is open, but we can see a creepy shadow behind it. The third door isn't locked, but there's a wet floor sign in front of it. Can you help Jacob choose the best passage? He should pick the third option. The shopping mall has been closed for a while now, so the floors are probably no longer wet. Jacob enters the third door and finds himself in the middle of a parking lot. He needs to pass by one of these 3 cars to escape from the zombies. Which way is more or less safe? The red car is open. A zombie could be hiding inside it. No thanks. The blue car's headlights are on. The zombies might notice Jacob's shadow if he passes by that car. As for the yellow car, look! Someone left a key in the door, so that's the best option. Jacob starts the third car and hits the road, but he has a strange feeling that he forgot something. Oh no, Kitty! Jacob turns around and stops the car near the mall. He spots Kitty on the balcony right away. Meanwhile, the zombies surround his car. There are 3 possible ways to climb to the balcony: an old fire escape, a bunch of wooden boxes, or a rope provided by Kitty. Which way is more or less safe? The fire escape is right next to the windows with zombies. Jacob won't make it to the top. The second option is dangerous too. A zombie is hiding in one of the wooden boxes. Jacob should climb the rope. Kitty can help him climb up faster, and he'll be able to kick the zombies if they attack him on the way. Jacob reaches the balcony. Luckily, Kitty is fine. She says, There's a helicopter on the roof at the opposite side of the mall. We can try to escape by air. There are 3 passages they can use to reach the helicopter: the local seafood restaurant, a costume shop, or a pet store. Which way is more or less safe? The guy should choose the costume shop. They can put on some zombie masks and blend in with the zombie crowd. Jacob and Kitty break into the costume shop. Can you spot anything odd here? This false beard is moving on its own. This place must be haunted. Jacob and Kitty keep on walking. There are 3 possible routes to choose from. 2 guards bitten by zombies are lying unconscious in the first passage. The second route has some pots with mutant plants that feed on humans. And the third route leads through a coffee shop infested with vampires. Which way is more or less safe? The first passage is too dangerous. The guards can turn into zombies and attack. It's nighttime, so dealing with vampires is a bad idea. Jacob and Kitty should put on some rubber suits to protect their bodies from the plants and use the second passage. The guys manage to break through the plants and run to the roof door. But unfortunately, it's locked. The door requires a 13-digit combination. They don't see any numbers or letters, only these colored buttons on the door. What should they do? Jacob and Kitty should pay attention to this poster on the wall. It has 5 strawberries, 3 bananas, 2 oranges, 1 green apple, and 2 eggplants, which is 13 in total. They should press the red button 5 times, then press the yellow one 3 times, the orange one 2 times, and the green button 1 time, and the purple button 2 times. Yay! The guys open the door. They run to the roof and face 2 zombies. But one of them is fake. Can you guess which one? The first lady is pretty transparent, so she's the fake zombie because she's a ghost. Jacob and Kitty push the zombie away and climb into the helicopter. They fly to the local city shelter. Can you spot anything odd here? It's nighttime, so we can see the moon. And it's okay, but the sun shouldn't be in the sky at this hour. The guys almost made it to the shelter, but they run out of fuel, so they have to land next to the building instead of the roof. The building is surrounded by a high fence with only 3 entrances. The first one is guarded by a zombie. A mad robot hangs out at the second door, and the third entrance is guarded by a vampire. Can you help them choose the safest option? Jacob and Kitty should use the third entrance. Take a look at the sky. It's almost dawn. The vampire will have to leave his post soon. Today, we're visiting a truly bizarre university. Keep your eyes wide open and don't trust anyone.
Yeah.
Look at these people. One of them is not a student. Can you figure out who it is? This lady in black is a supernatural creature. Look at the mirror. Both she and her reflection are facing you. It's not possible in the real world. Students at this university aren't exactly known for their honesty. Look, it's midterms, and someone is cheating during an exam. Can you help the professor find this dishonest student? It's this guy. He has answers written on his arm. Thanks to your help, the professor has caught the cheating student, but she's a kind-hearted woman and gives the guy another chance. He needs to solve this riddle to pass the exam. Would you maybe like to help the poor student you've exposed? Keep in mind that this riddle has challenged many intelligent minds, and for good reason. The missing number in the third circle is 225. The numbers in these circles seem to be completely random at first glance. But let's perform some basic arithmetic operations, addition, subtraction, and multiplication, and try to figure out the pattern. We need to follow these steps. Look at the first circle and pair the opposites. The first pair gives us 11. As for the second pair, we need to calculate the difference between the numbers. It's 9. The next step should be finding the difference between the two results and squaring this number. We get 4. Let's do the same for the second circle to make sure that this is a working scheme. And now, let's find the missing number. So, 225 is the answer. The exams are over, and students are celebrating. But the party is kinda shady. Look around. Someone who doesn't belong to this college has sneaked inside. Can you spot the intruder? Look at this young lady. Her feet don't seem to be touching the ground. She must be a ghost. During the holidays, supernatural beings occupied the college, and now they're haunting the students. Even worse, someone has bitten your friend. Which of these people is a vampire? This young man has a t-shirt that looks as if it has some bloodstains on it. But that's just a print. This woman has a whole garlic knob hanging as a necklace on her chest, so she's not a vampire. But look at the man who's drinking some red liquid. I bet it's not fruit juice. He's actually the one we should be aware of. Imagine coming back to your dorm and finding out that your roommate is missing. Plus, everything around you looks kinda suspicious. Strange sounds, weird smells. Is your roommate hiding some terrible secret? Let's look at the sky. See that full moon? Now, pay attention to the walls and the floor of your room. You can notice scratch marks and chunks of fur here and there. That's the answer. Your roommate is a werewolf. After figuring out your roommate's secret, you realize you need to clear your head. You go to a morning pool party. People are swimming, playing around, and having fun. But one of the guests is a mermaid. Can you figure out who it is? This girl just pretends to be a mermaid. She even has matching makeup. This guy is wearing special gloves with membranes between the fingers. The mermaid is actually this girl who's staying as far away from the swimming pool as possible. She's even wearing a raincoat. All because if even a small water droplet touches her skin, she will get her tail. It's time to go back to school, only to find out that one of your professors is possessed. Who is that? This man has red eyes and messy hair, but that's most likely because he's sleep deprived. This woman is unnaturally pale, but she's suffering from food poisoning. Look at that piece of pizza next to her. It sure doesn't look fresh. At the same time, the guy on the right has two shadows instead of one. He's definitely possessed. Okay, now let's move on to something less supernatural, but no less tricky. Imagine having to empty a jar of milk and a jar of water into a bowl. But of course, there are several conditions. You must be able to see the border between the milk and the water. You must be able to separate the milk from the water. And finally, you aren't allowed to use any kinds of dividers to keep these two liquids apart. How can you do it? All you need to do is to pour the water into the bowl first and freeze it. Now all that's left to do is to add the milk. In the city where people are keen on brain teasers and riddles, 4% of people don't list their phone numbers. So if we select 40 random people from the phone directory, how many of them will have unlisted numbers? The answer is 0%. You see, if the numbers of these 40 people are in the phone directory, they are already listed by default. David invited 7 friends to his birthday party. They brought a beautiful big cake, but they couldn't eat it unless it was divided into 8 equal pieces with just 3 cuts. Luckily, they managed to do this and could enjoy the treat. Would you be able to do the same? To fulfill this task correctly, you need to follow the next steps. First of all, cut the cake across the diameter through the middle point. After that, cut the cake horizontally. Now you already have 4 equal pieces. And finally, cut the cake across the diameter, perpendicular to the first cut. There you go, 8 equal pieces and just 3 cuts. Now, look at the poor guy. One of his friends has pulled a paint bucket prank on him. Look at the rest of the people attentively and try to figure out who it was. It was definitely Luke. Look at his pants. There are paint stains there. Now, look at these girls. They're in a dark basement tied with ropes. Who is going to be the first to escape? Most likely, it'll be the first girl. She's got long, beautiful nails. She's bound to have a file to look after them. It can help her cut through the rope. There's been a robbery on the train, and one of these people is hiding the stolen goods. Who can it be? It's this woman. She only pretends to be pregnant. Her belly has a bizarre shape. It's suspiciously square. The police had been looking for Kyle for 2 days. The guy went hiking and never came back. Finally, he was found. Someone had hit him on the head and left him lying in the bushes. Kyle only managed to say, "Friend," and lost consciousness. The police officers had 3 suspects, all of them Kyle's friends. Zachary said he spent these last days at work getting ready for a conference. Jeremy told the detectives he'd sprained his ankle and had been in bed for 4 days. And Billy explained that he'd been to New York. The man even showed the police officers his boarding pass. Who's responsible for the accident with Kyle? Billy showed the police just one boarding pass from Chicago to New York. Then how did he get back from New York? His story sounds fishy. Jordan was very late for a job interview, but when he drove up to the office building, he found out there were no free parking spaces. He decided to leave his car a bit farther from the entrance. But even though there were several other vehicles in that area, parking was prohibited there. Luckily, Jordan came up with an idea and didn't get fined. What did he do? He took a parking ticket from another car and put it on his windshield. It looked as if he had already been fined.